Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly, and we're back with another East Tennessee Fishing Report with Ellis Ward. Ellis, how are you?
I am doing well, Marv. How are you?
As always, just trying to stay out of trouble, and I kind of wonder, you've been burning the miles up, going down to the Florida Keys and back. You need an oil change yet?
Yeah, I do. I needed one, I think, 1,000 miles ago, but I'm going to be okay with it. The Subaru has... I might be getting the truck sometime soon. I'm already going on tangents. Yes, I need an oil change, and I need a little more sleep, but I got to witness some really cool stuff. My buddy Dave White out of Anna Maria just dialed in, and I fish with him every year when my family's down there. Kind of interesting story how we met, but that'll be for another day. And 6 years running, this last year, he was kind of like, well, I'm taking pictures of my cousins holding sheep's head that were throwing back, and he's just kind of laughing like, you want to come down here and take pictures of people tarpon fishing? And semi in jest, and said it once more as I'm baiting shrimp onto my family's hooks, and he was just chilling. It's like, dude, you should come up here for a week. So made it happen, and I watched 7 fish. I'm gonna say 6 of them over 100 pounds get to the boat, and another 2 more or less get close enough to call it leadered. And those are just, 150 plus pound fish that are so big, you're winching the drag. Everyone's had enough. If it's fun, we did fun fishing for 2 hours and hooked 4, leadered 3. And, when he's with clients, the guys are done fighting them, and we have an hour left, and he's saying, we're going to go back. And they're legitimately looking at each other like, I'm not sure I want to. And so when you're not breaking them out, you cinch that drag down in sort of a land or lose them type deal. And sometimes the hook pops and no one is upset. So it's been, between that and moving, I'm standing on the back porch of a new place looking at a very large workshop with 2 big garage doors. So Bucktail and Tyne have a home that is not right next to my bedroom, which will be kind of nice and a little weird. But it's been a lot in the last week. Couple trips this week with some folks out here to hit streamers, and mouse and flows on both rivers are looking great. So I'm excited to get an oil change and get my vise set up. It's been a little too long. I think I start twitching after a few days. It's probably been a week. And start hammering it this summer, starting tomorrow.
Yeah, it's funny, right? So I wonder if maybe next year during deer season, you're going to tell me you can't sleep because you have to have the smell of borax and death to be able to fall asleep at night.
Well, I've been working with a couple different folks, Yankee Candle, that's sort of a stretch, but, some local candle distributors to get 5-day-old and 8-day-old dead deer tail scent in the works. So sort of TBD on that, but just trying to diversify,
Yeah. And so, it's interesting, you've got re-entry, which will be a little bumpy, but fun, right? And, where you're starting to I checked out your weather, you're kind of sliding in to kind of a little bit more of a normal kind of early summer groove. You got a little bit of rain next week, but it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know what re-entry is for taking it. I mean, 5-6 days not fishing for me is certainly feels like I'm coming back to a different planet. But it's a good time to be jumping in, and I'm happy that I have a couple guys coming here specifically to do what I do this and next week. We're looking at the first year I moved here, I asked Siri or Alexa, sorry to whoever is listening and that just pinged it, if it was going to rain in Johnson City. And every single day has a 51% chance of rain in the afternoon. And so we're kind of starting that summertime. Those clouds build up and you can sort of get these heavens unleashing thing. But, in the meantime, this week and looks like well into next week, we have sort of hazy patches of sun and the thunderstorm here or there, which highs a mid to upper 80s, so we're not creeping into the 90s. And with that cloud cover and a little evening rain, man, that's about all you can ask for.
Yeah. So how are your hatches hanging on? Obviously that kind of cloudy weather and the rain is gonna help. But what are you seeing out there? I know you've been on the road, but what do you hear maybe from your people?
Yeah, I mean it's. I was out 6 days ago, so I'm guessing this isn't dated information. I don't want to say the caddis hatcher. I think I talked about this last time. There was the 12-14 caddis on the Watauga. You start seeing there's a couple very distinct dry fly eats, and if you can hear it and you see water splashing to the left or the right, more often than not, if you look around, you're going to see caddis, and you see it on the South Holston. And this is read Gary LaFontaine's caddis fly. Look up no one's going to do that. So look up skitter your caddis. Look at YouTube. I have a tying video about the two birds, one caddis, and it's moving whatever it is that you're moving. There's some different excerpts that are talking about these bugs, diving in and coming back out of the surface. And when you're seeing that splashy eat and not getting, it's such an aggressive eat, and then they won't eat a dead drift. It can be a little perplexing, but that's happening. That it starts to dwindle to maybe 10, 20% of the time. And there's sulfurs, PMDs, yellow bugs in the, let's say, 14 to 18. You can fish up to I would say 12. I mean, beetles and hoppers. I saw easily 2-inch grasshopper this is 2 weeks ago, on the upper Watauga, sitting in the film, flying over from the field. This was, we're not even in June. And I had some new anglers on the boat. I'm pointing that thing out saying, yeah, that is why you have grasshopper flies. So, mayflies, the sulfurs, the PMBs, those are kind of the big deal. But at the same time, I don't know if there's going to be any of my folk. I had 3 different pairs of brand new anglers, and all of them caught fish on dry flies. I may have gassed up some of them last time, but we were fishing 16s, 18s as our sighters, and they're catching fish on 20s, 22s, and I'm still fishing 24s. I mean, there's such. You just think about the biomass in that river, or in these rivers, being tailwaters and uniform, consistently cold, etc. There's a lot of biology behind it, but there's a lot of small bugs, and that's what the fish are used to seeing. And yeah, they're going to start more actively feeding on bigger bugs, but I don't want to be too cliche about it, but maybe it's what you can't see or what they're not eating on the end of your leader that might be the most important thing. And you'll see those big ones flying around, but that's because you can see them pretty easily. They're bright yellow. They're little highlighters, and they're 20 times the size of the bugs that the fish might be eating in the film. So I like double dry. You kind of have to balance tendency to foul up versus what you get out of fishing too, but it can be fun to throw two pretty different patterns and kind of get dialed in that way. And yeah, we did talk about this last time, that just, we have, unlike the caddis where it's a little bit of a flash in the pan, 2 weeks, maybe 3, peak of 5 days, peak of 10 days, the mayflies and just this general source of food, low light mornings, evening hatches are great. That's through July into August. With beetles and hoppers rounding things out, and I will throw a streamer every once in a while too.
I've been told. I've heard that.
Yeah, once or twice.
Anything you want to point out for folks on the streamer bite right now?
Yeah, if you're in this area and you have been paying attention to flows, a couple different things come to mind, not the least of which is right now, yes, I stopped for risers. We're not going to cast, anyone throwing streamers into rising fish, I don't know. That's not what I do. It's not. I like to cast your rising fish. Like cast them. But when we're moving, when we're not stopping, we're not seeing noses. Man, it's tough to beat. And one of the reasons it's tough to beat is that I don't know. I think there's a little bit of feast or famine for me, because outside of the first year I was here, we don't really have consistent periods of time with big water. Now the Watauga will generate from 1 to 5 for 6 days a week, but that's 4 hours, and you experienced it last year. You run that 4 hours in the afternoon on a full sun day in July and it's 98 degrees. Congratulations on the full, generation schedule, but probably better off to wait and fish low light when it's low water if you're going after the big ground. So it's not always great conditions. If you're having precipitation, you're getting some color from the creeks or from the doe on the Watauga, some of those the little ag creeks on the South Holston, you're getting a little cloud cover and the rivers are pushing water. It's just, I struggle with this because I've said, the time is now. I shouldn't be wasting days that are good conditions. And you really should, if you have the opportunity to do it, because it's in a month from now, we don't know what the water table is going to be doing. And for the last 4 years, we haven't had current conditions. So it is a good time to be going out and at least taking what we are offered right now, because you see weeks at a time of just no generation. You see months at a time of no generation, and it's better than that right now.
Yeah, there you go. Always fish tomorrow instead of the day after tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I think my pappy and his pappy before that would say that.
Yeah. And folks, we love questions on the articulate fly. You can email them to us or DM us on social media, whatever is easiest for you. And if we use your question, I will send you some articulate fly swag. We're drawing for some cool stuff from Ellis at the end of the season. And Ellis, before I let you go and, I don't know, read a book, tie some flies, keep unpacking, get some sleep, change your oil, whatever. Why don't you let folks kind of know how to reach out and get in touch with you, book you, and all that kind of good stuff?
Yeah, I'm just going to go into the workshop and probably stare at some bucktail and not move it until 2 o'clock in the morning. Best way to contact me for trips and just to ask questions, poke my brain, 6 versus 7 versus 8, what line? Cell phone at 513-543-0019. And information, pictures, etc. Website and Instagram. Website is elliswardflies.com. And I'm on Instagram at Ellis Ward Guides.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, listen, folks, you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Ellis.
Appreciate it, Marv.